play a game like this, just throw it out there and get a penalty.
166 yards of penalties.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Well, this will probably be arguably the most watched game other than the Super Bowl, and I hated that it got down to just throwing the ball up and getting the penalties to get your big play. This is not a criticism really not a criticism of the rules. It is a criticism of the discretion of how you use them and what play. Everybody knows you can call a penalty on every play many different ways every time the ball snaps. And so you have to have a feel for what you're trying to do in the ball game.
Jerry Jones gingerly tiptoeing through that minefield. You don't want to get hit with a fine,
right?
That may affect the monthly budget on the yacht or anything like that. You just don't want to be in the super yacht. You don't want to put any crimp in the overall financial portfolio of Jerry Jones. But he was careful not to criticize the rule, but the application. But the bottom line is he wasn't happy about the defensive pass interference penalties called against his team on Thanksgiving. 38.5 million people watched. There were almost that many flags thrown that day. But, Anthony Brown committed 4 defensive pass interference penalties, and they were all defensive pass interference.
Right, that's the problem.
It's not like we're saying, oh, boy, that was a bad call. No, he ran into the guy.
That's listen, I love what Jerry said there. I think when he's talking discretion, common sense, he'd like to see that used a little bit more. That's the biggest issue to me right now. It's not the true applications of the rule. Now, I don't think it holds true to that game in that particular situation. I don't. Like you said, I never looked at any of those pass interferences and went, man, that's stupid. Like that's just, both guys hand fighting. They shouldn't call that. I thought every one was clearly pass interference. So, that's getting into a little bit where I just want to go, no, they need to teach their guys not to pass interfere, and the game will be a little bit better to watch. But we do see not proper discretion used all the time, and common sense is just out the door right now. I could sit here and go crazy with the officiating right now. I really could. It really bothers me.
Oh, I hear you on Sundays. Yeah, let me say this.
Yeah.
If it is a game of throw-up ball on Thanksgiving, throw up for a very different reason than all the food you ate before the game, but why not tell Dak Prescott to just throw deep passes to CeeDee Lamb or CeeDee Lamb didn't play, but whoever was available.
Yeah, I got you.
Run a 9 route and throw the ball up. Do the same thing.
Yeah.
And stop, underthrow it just a little bit so the defensive back runs into you, and boom, you pick up 40 yards of field position. I mean, if that's how they're calling it that day, adjust your play calling to try to take advantage of some of the yardage that the officials are handing out repeatedly like they did against the Cowboys. All right, but that tees up this week's After Further Review, and we're driven by the calls that really stand out. Sometimes it's a decision that is interesting and requires further explanation. Sometimes it's just a bad call. Here's one that we're going to start with one that I was fascinated by, given all the talk about
It's amazing.
The taunting rule.
Mm-hmm.
And we just saw last week the Clyde Edwards-Helaire pointing at the opponent. Clear, no-brainer, 15 yards. And my big criticism of the rule, look, because they're not going to change the rule.
Right.
Okay, if this is the rule you want, you have to apply it consistently. And of all teams, it was the Patriots. Kendrick Bourne with that incredible catch and run. 0.3% chance, according to Next Gen Stats, of taking it to the house when he got it to 36. He has a juke and then another juke, and he gets that great block from Jacoby Myers, and he has the stiff arm. But then right there,
he knew it right away. Look, he holds it back.
Right
He's like,
there.
oh no, Belichick's going to kill me. Look.
But he
did it.
Flashed it.
He did it.
And that's exactly what they're penalizing guys for. And I haven't been pointing it out because I wanted to see him get penalized. It just proves how ludicrous the rule is if that isn't penalized, because that's exactly what they're supposed to be penalizing. And it'll be very interesting, Chris, to see whether or not the league is willing to admit to the world that they screwed it up by fining Kendrick Bourne. Are they going to cover it up by not fining him for taunting? Or are they going to implicitly admit by hitting him for $10,000 for doing exactly the same thing that Clyde Edwards-Helaire did to the opponent last week. The same thing, not even the same thing, that Cassius Marsh did a few weeks ago when he got fined. Posturing, thou shalt not posture. So that's my point. I don't like the rule. Nobody likes the rule. But I hate the fact that the rule isn't being consistently and fairly applied.
That's the problem. That's what's going to drive coaches. That's what drives coaches crazy right now. That's the number one thing I get complaints about with coaching friends is just you don't know what to expect on a weekly basis right now from the referees. One week, this is fine. The next week, it's a totally different crew, and that's completely off limits, but something that was off limits to the last crew is now on limits with this crew, and it's hard to coach your damn football team that way. And that's where we get back to full-time refs. Thank you, please. Thank you. But it's amazing. Yeah.
Well, or Sky Judge, because maybe it happens so fast that
they don't see it all the way.
The people on the field didn't see it. But you know who saw it? People watching TV.
Yeah.
Because I saw it immediately, and I'm sure you saw it immediately.
Yeah.
Anybody who was watching the game saw it immediately. There it is. Directed at the opponent. And there's no minimum time limit in the rule that I'm aware of. It's not like, you get 2 seconds. No, you get 0 seconds. You're not supposed to do it, whether it's sustained 2 fingers or 1 finger, as the case may be, or whether it's just that.
Yeah.
Even if you're just doing that, it's supposed to be a foul under this big deal point of emphasis the NFL has made. So that's disappointing to me because, look, here what should have happened is, the Patriots went up 26-13. They should have been kicking off from their 20. Even though the Titans took the ball all the way down and had a 4th and goal that resulted in interception, it still should have been an easier path.
Yeah.
To 4th and goal from the 2.
I get you.
And if you're not going to call it, then take the rule off the books. You can't just call it some of the time. You got to call it all of the time or get rid of the rule. All right, let's move on to Tom Brady's return to Indianapolis. He had a quarterback sneak on 1st and goal from the 1. With 13 minutes left in the second quarter of the game, he was hit by Andrew Sendejo, a guy who has been fined plenty of times by the NFL for illegal hits. In came Sendejo with the drop the shoulder and hit Tom Brady as he's trying to get to the end zone. What did you think of this one?
Listen, I don't like it. I don't, because again, if Tom Brady was on somebody's body parts here and still had a little footing, he'd be pushing forward and still trying to get it like he's even doing right there. So now they want the defender to just let up and not let him inch forward. I don't like it. Again, it's I know it's Tom Brady and we're trying to protect the GOAT who gets more bullcrap calls than anybody. I don't. And a quarterback sneak's a big part of their football game. You see that play happen a lot where, quarterbacks are on top of someone or something like that, and now they continue to drive forward and their own team pushes them forward. So here's a guy being, maybe a hair aggressive. I get it. He doesn't try to hit with his head or anything like that. I don't like that call.
He did exactly what you're saying. He did the technique you're supposed to use now.
He turned his body completely. He used all his shoulder. Exactly right. I don't agree with that call. I don't. Not at all.
Think of what that would have looked like if your dad was trying that in 1985.
What?
And there was a defensive back in position to keep him out of the end zone.
What?
That would have been Andre Waters' missile
100%. 100. Listen, I think the NFL should pay my dad and Jim Kelly and Steve Young and Joe Montana $5 million. You screwed over their careers. You had to cut them short. If you protected them the way they're getting protected now, damn, my dad would have played another 4 or 5 years in the NFL. It's ridiculous. That's ridiculous right there. It's football. And they're bordering right now on it's borderline two-hand touch with the quarterbacks. And that's where it drives me crazy.
I'll look at it this way. If the guy who was trying to score in that spot wore number 34 and not number 12.
100.
It's not even a conversation.
Not even a conversation. 100%. Nobody even talks about it. We go right by. But it's 12. Listen, we saw... 12 gets a lot of benefit of the doubt. He's like
and look where the flag came from.
Right.
It came from one of the people who was there to protect the quarterback.
Right.
It came in from from behind the play, not somebody who was down, on either side of the scrum who's in a better position to see what Andrew Sandejo did. And it was like, hey, it's a quarterback sneak. Let's play that again. It's almost like I got my hand on the flag ready. I see the formation here. There's a chance 12 is going to sneak it. I'm ready to take care of anybody that dares to strike Tommy. Watch it come in. Boom. Well, maybe it didn't come in as fast as I thought, but still, it comes in from behind the play from somebody who's there to protect number 12.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. I just, you made the point. If it's a running back, we don't talk about it. It's overprotected. Listen, I still go back to that Super Bowl against the Rams with John Perry, who I think is an amazing rep. But remember, Aaron Donald threw him to the ground. He's like, oh, don't throw him like that. Don't you do that. I don't like that. I don't. I would literally be getting to the point right now where I'm telling you, if I was the head coach of the team, yeah, NFL would be fining me a lot because I would be like, screw it, I'm making a lot of money. I'm going to say some things here.
Tread lightly.
I know.
Tread lightly.
I'm just saying, if you had a quarterback sneak down in those, all right, so what, they got another foot, because of the penalty? I'd tell my guys to tee off on quarterbacks. I'd go tee off. Green light, tee off. Take your best shots. I would. Right now, that's what I would do. You want to put them in the quarterback sneak on the 2-yard line, the 1-yard line? Fine. We're going to hit them no matter what. And if we get a penalty, we don't give a damn. You get a foot. I would start doing that stuff. I would get my licks in on these quarterbacks when I can.
That was Chris Simms. Not
That's
Mike
right.
Florio.
That's right. I'm going to keep saying it too. You can guarantee it.
But look, this is that double standard that we have seen for the past few years now, where the quarterbacks try to take unfair advantage of the rules that protect them behind the line of scrimmage. The defenders get all confused about what they're allowed to do and not do because they're so conditioned to expect a flag for breathing on the quarterback who's in the defenseless posture that when he deliberately surrenders the protections, they're afraid to hit him, even though the moment you cross the line of scrimmage with the ball in your hands, you are no different than the guy who was in the tailback position, who got a toss sweep and ran into the teeth of the defense. So I understand what you're saying, but again, it's Chris who's saying tee off on the quarterbacks, not me.
Hey,
Micah Parsons, how about this?
Now we're getting to nothing the passers, right?
It's nothing the passer time.
Here we go.
This is Micah Parsons from Thanksgiving hitting Derek Carr, and let's have a look at Derek Carr. This is one that is very difficult for me. And look, Tony Romo contradicted himself on this one because we do have a forcible blow to the head with the wrist forearm of Micah Parsons. You see it there. The problem is once the quarterback leaves the pocket, he's still protected against a forcible blow to the head or neck. And I'm not saying that you should be allowed to blow up the quarterback the way that James Harrison did to Colt McCoy, and that would be a foul for other reasons in today's NFL. But other protections are turned off when you leave the quarterback. Forcible blow to the head or neck when you leave the pocket, when the quarterback leaves the pocket. It's tough for me because I think the rule was appropriately applied here. I wonder whether or not that rule should be changed and you forfeit the protection against the forcible blow to the head or the neck when you choose to leave the pocket, Chris. That's where I'm struggling on this one.
Well, I'm all for that rule as far as the forcible blow to the head or neck. Now, to me, that's not forcible. That's not. His wrist hit his helmet. What? That to me is not forcible. Let alone,
and he's falling into it as well.
And he's falling into it, and he's bringing the ball back. To me, when you watch it and bring it up again, Micah Parsons, I think, is getting ready to. He's raising his arm because he's thinking he might swat the ball or bat the ball. He's trying to do something like that, let alone now he's also trying in the act to protect himself so his own knees don't get crushed by Derek Carr or his friendly fire, the other guy in his football team. I mean, he's really bringing his arm in there to go, oh, no, I'm going to get hit by my own guy here and protect himself to a degree. The forcible blow was Derek Carr falling to the ground and putting his head around Micah Parsons' knee. That was the only problem to me. Again, this is where I'd like to see common sense a little bit more. That's not a forcible blow. That's not. And Derek Carr was great in doing that right there.
And then he grabbed his neck, and then he was smiling on his way back to the huddle.
They know. The quarterbacks know.
He knew.
They know. They play it up right now. And I would, too, if I was playing. I'd get it because I want the free 15 as well. I want to win the game. But that, to me, is where I'd like to see common sense, discretion, as Jerry Jones would say, and not call that.
We saw Andrew Sendejo do what he's supposed to do in a situation like the one he found himself in, where he turned his body away, didn't go in helmet first into Tom Brady. And I say that because with Michael Parsons, the question becomes, well, what should he have done differently in that spot? And the answer, whenever the answer is not what you did, no, I need to know something.
Yeah, there's no answer. Exactly.
Specific.
Right.
What should I have done?
No.
When quarterback is coming at my knees, running the ball, maybe he's going to throw it.
Right.
He's falling down.
Right.
What am I supposed to do there? Get out of the way? And then he somehow doesn't fall, and he tucks the ball away, and he runs for 15 yards. So what am I supposed to do in that spot to avoid a foul? I guess that's the other question I have. I just don't like the idea that the forcible blow to the head and neck continues to be a prohibition when the guy leaves the pocket and is approaching the line of scrimmage, because there are certain blows to the head and neck that become unavoidable right when he's on that cusp of transitioning into a run. It's an immediate transformation under the rules.
Right.
I think it needs to be more gradual, that there needs to be a better recognition when you've exited the pocket. You're becoming a runner. It's not just when you hit the line of scrimmage. You're becoming a runner when you leave the pocket.
No, agreed. I agree with everything you said there. And just another case of rewarding bad play on offense, to take a page out of what Tom Brady said earlier this year. We didn't protect that well. Nobody was open. 15 yards. It's horrible. The horrible call by the refs. Horrible. Free 15 for Oakland or Las Vegas. Horrible.
Let's go to Sunday Night Football. Jadeveon Clowney, the Browns pass rusher, with a hit on.
Oh, my gosh.
Nothing to passer alert.
Oh, my gosh.
Nothing to passer alert. Lamar Jackson not long ago couldn't get these calls. Now he's getting them all the time, so I guess that's good for him. But what was this?
What? He didn't even take a step. There's not even a step. It's one step, a half a step. It's a pitiful call. He hits nothing. What did he hit?
No helmet involved.
Nothing.
It was a shoulder to the chest and a guy who was off balance, so the fact that he was off balance put him on the ground.
Yes. There you have a chance to be in 3rd and long. Bad offensive play again. Reward the offense. Let Lamar Jackson get some more stats and everything. It's pitiful. The rules are so skewed to the quarterbacks right now. It's absolutely redonkulous. It's not ridiculous. It's redonkulous. It's pitiful. I don't know if that's not legal. Then damn, I don't know. Maybe I just I don't know.
Chris,
yeah.
I say this jokingly, but it becomes less and less of a joke to me. The only way we're going to have true consistency with these calls is if they make roughing the passer the same as roughing the punter, where once the ball's out, you just can't touch him. And then we know what the rule is. Then we know that if you do hit the guy in the chest with your shoulder, you're going to get flagged, and make it 5. Make it running into the passer and roughing the passer. Do that. If we're going to throw 15 yards consistently for roughing that isn't roughing, then just change the rule. Because that's how they're applying it. They're applying it as if it is the roughing the punter rule.
You're kind of right. It's disgusting. It's really disappointing as somebody that loves football. It's as disappointing as they can get. It's Lamar Jackson, and he's outside the pocket. The greatest
another
runner
one from Sunday night
in the history of the sport. Oh, no. There's so many bad ones this week. We don't have a long enough show to show them all. That's the problem.
I'm looking at the list, and I'm looking at the clock, and saying,
there's so many. No,
what are we going to do here?
Pete will tell you. I have 5 other submissions that would go, this is ridiculous. Let's go. Let's go to the other one. Let's go to the Ravens' other one.
Let's just start showing them. Let's start showing them. Here we go. Tyus Bowser on Baker Mayfield. Same game, not long after. I guess this is the make good call.
It might be. You're right. I don't know what it is. Makeup call for illegal hitting the quarterback too hard. Hey.
No. This one did have some helmet to helmet to it. See that? See the
I don't know.
Some helmet to helmet.
I don't know about that.
Look at his head.
Well, he's getting hit by a 250-pound man that's running hard. I don't know if it actually hit. And again, these are big people with big heads. Like, it might touch every now and then. I don't know what people want to say. And I don't know if that necessarily hit his head. I don't.
Spoken like a big person with a big head.
Exactly right. That's right. And so, like, that is not what the rule was intended for. Pitiful call. Pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. Now, fantasy world will love it because, yeah, the offense gets to keep going and great. But, you know, they're ruining the league with this crap. Ruining it. Horrible.
Let's go to Thanksgiving night. Ed Oliver, Bills defensive tackle, with a roughing call on Trevor Siemian. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
There's Siemian back to pass, and we're just so used to that now. Anytime we see the hit, we expect the flag, and I don't see any helmet.
No, maybe the helmet nicked his helmet again. It's a 6'3" human being who has a big head, and they're wearing helmets. So it looks like he does. I mean, it doesn't look like he. It doesn't look like he hit his helmet.
If I'm the defensive line coach of the Bills, then that would be bad news for any Bills fan. But I would say when you're getting around to that point where you're making the final push to the quarterback, just keep your head up. Don't dip it at all. Keep your head up. You're not bracing for impact with another guy your size. You don't need to brace. Just keep your head up.
They're in a,
and
I
show
know.
him.
Maybe you're right.
It's
I know.
easier said than done.
It's easier said than done. I mean, his head is pretty straight up. He's not that leaned over. But what they're also scared of is if I hit him in the chest and low and now happen to fall on him, that's also going to be a penalty. So they're in a no-win situation right now. And again, I'd like to state, that is not what the rule was implied for or put in the NFL. Pitiful call. I mean, how many times are we going to see offenses be pitiful and get 15 yards because of it? I mean, it's just.
Well, here's one where we didn't. Same game.
Well, yeah, this is unreal. This is unreal.
Same game. Earlier in the game, Saints defensive lineman Christian Ringo hits your boy Blue low and isn't called.
Oh, it's hilarious.
And
you're idiots, ref. You're an idiot. You're all idiots. You're all idiots. I have not.
Is he saying somebody blocked him into him? What's he saying?
No, he's going, your leg's still there. You're okay. Well, I was only if you lost a leg was I going to call that.
Oh,
I mean,
you have
what?
another one.
Of all the ones to be called,
you got another one.
Of all the ones not to be called, that's the one. I mean, it's ridiculous. These guys are clueless. You almost ruined their season. If there's anyone that was actually roughing the passer that we've showed so far, there it is. Call it.
What's he pointing at there? I want to know the explanation. See, this is why
they're overwhelmed.
That referee should have to submit to a press conference after the game, after every game, just like every coach and every player has to. I want to know what the hell that guy was thinking in that play and what's he pointing at.
I don't know either. You're right. This is where, again, it goes back to the full-time refs, and these people need to be held accountable on a weekly basis, not like, oh, I'm on a conference call while I'm doing my other job, and I'm kind of listening, but I'm not. It's ridiculous. Out of all the ones we've just showed, that was the only one that was roughing the passer, and it wasn't called. I mean, disgusting. I'm so annoyed by the NFL right now. I don't even know. I really don't even know what to say anymore.
We got a few more. Pete, do we have time for them, or do we need to go? Pete? We got to go.
All right, well, we got some other horrible calls by the NFL. Well, maybe we'll release them to the public. Yeah, they get.
I think they get the point, but just in case you're curious, Hassan Reddick hit on Tua Tagovailoa, Jerry Tillery hit on Teddy Bridgewater, and also Von Miller on Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my gosh, another pitiful one. Oh my gosh,
nothing. The passer call. Let's show the Von Miller one because I mean this is one where you're saying your guy with his broken toe, not COVID toe,
right? With
his broken toe. Your guy should not have been flagged for this hit that he took. Let's take a look at it. Where's Von Miller? There's Von Miller. Here he comes. Aaron Rodgers throws it.
It's a joke.
I'm always looking for that helmet-to-helmet that can. He got popped in the jaw.
He did. I know.
He got popped in the jaw.
I get it, but see again, it's not like he's intending to do it. All right, like
doesn't matter if you're intending.
I can get like behind this a little bit. I don't like this either, though. I don't like it. You know,
keep your head up, Vaughn. Just keep your head up. See how he's.
That's one
like
where
that?
Okay, I can say there's some gray there. There's definitely some gray, and he could probably have avoided it and not ducked his head a little bit. But I still, Aaron Rodgers didn't fall to the ground. It wasn't that forcible. He didn't fall to the ground. So don't throw your flag to the ground. That was a big moment in the game. The Rams had a little momentum right there, and they're about to get them in 2nd and long. And, there you go, 15 yards. And I think, Green Bay ran out some more clock.
But if falling to the ground is part of the rule, I hope it never gets to that point, because then they'll be flopping all over the place like fish, like soccer players.
Yeah.
Anytime they get breathed on, they'll take a dive and injure themselves while they take a dive.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.